Government has again extended the order for citizens to stay indoors. This as the Ministry of Health intends to use the next 14 days to ramp up testing throughout the country for the COVID-19 virus. The announcement came today from Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley. Khrystal Wilson has more in this report.
We are still under heavy threat and constraints in dealing with this virus. The fact that we have not been able to report huge numbers of deaths should not be taken as a pass. It should be taken as a result of the things that we have been doing. So we cannot now say we don't know what to do and what will work for us for a little longer.
The words of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley as he announced that citizens are expected to adhere to stay-at-home orders for just a bit longer. Dr. Rowley explained that based on the advice of the Chief Medical Officer and his team, the next 15 days will be used to do further tests for COVID-19. He said this period will be used to determine the risks involved in deciding whether government can relax social distancing orders and other measures implemented to prevent the spread of the virus. At today's press briefing was Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parasram. He projected that health personnel will be able to conduct 50 surveillance tests per day in the first week, and this will increase in coming weeks.
If we are to slacken the measures after the 10th or after the 15th, as people begin to move, we will begin to see the effect of it. And once we continue doing the random sampling, if we see an increase, for instance, of number of viral illnesses occurring, we increase our sampling, we will be able to tell if there are actual COVID patients coming out, because as a result of the increased move, if there were pockets of community spread, that was hidden. So we'll continue to test way after that.
Also, the Attorney General has been advised to amend the law regarding operation of hardware stores. They will be permitted to open for 6 days per week, with the exception of Sundays. According to Prime Minister Rowley, there were other things which needed to be taken into consideration.
We discovered that by reducing the number of days, we didn't reduce the number of persons who were going there. More persons were going, and we decided, the thing to do is to allow a bit longer, so that the reason for that is that we don't want the congregation. So we said to you, we will make the adjustments as we have to along the way, and this is another one we're making.
Stay-home regulations regarding schools at this time remain the same. Khrystal Wilson, TTT News.
Members of the public ventured out on Saturday while stay-at-home orders continued in effect. TTT News visited downtown Port of Spain and noted a heavy police presence while people lined up to purchase food and other essential items. On Charlotte Street, street vendors were not approached by police officers as they tended to customers, while other people gathered at supermarkets awaiting their turn. There was little activity on both Frederick Street and Independence Square. The St. James area saw a bit of traffic, while again members of the TTPS observed activities, this time from within the vehicle. Government's orders to stay indoors continue until May 10th. Only supermarkets, hardwares, pharmacies and bakery stores are allowed to operate within limited shopping times. The measures have been implemented as this government attempts to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now, the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, is seeking to set the record straight again on the powers within which the TTPS is obligated by law to operate under. In an address today, Saturday, the top cop says the TTPS remains committed to enforce laws as best as it can.
Whilst it is understandable, as with any organization, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service would make mistakes, as we comprise of human beings. So we will not be perfect. And in this delicate situation, I wish to remind the nation that my officers are in a very difficult position in trying not to cross the lines between enforcing the law and using persuasion to assist in saving lives. However, it is a duty that they are compelled to do and would continue to so do. What is indeed disappointing would have been the recent rumors and hearsay being reported and then even exaggerated by some, along with totally inaccurate comments as it pertains to the role and function of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service by some who you think should know better.
Commissioner Griffith said the sole purpose of this was to cause sensationalism, even though they are not facts. The top cop says he has no fight with the Law Association, but he can only be guided by facts and not rumor. Mr. Griffith noted that taking this into consideration, he advised that persons continue to stay at home. He added that if they must leave home, they must comply with any directions and cooperate with his officers.
I wish to remind persons who are not trained in law enforcement to be careful how they make statements as to the operations of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Some of these outrageous comments include attorneys making comments to some that the police cannot ask persons for information as to where they are going in a roadblock, and also that persons can sue the state if police conduct roadblocks. I wish to advise the public not to take basket by attorneys who probably had a desire as a child to be a police officer and now are trying to pretend that they know the role and function of the police officer better than a police officer.